Sidney Potter is with us. He's the author of a new book. It's called The Flip. So you ate, slept, breathed real estate, and you did flipping for a long time. How are you, and welcome?
Well, thank you very much, Frankie. I just want to say I used to catch your show when I would flip in Las Vegas because they carry you out there. So.
Yeah. So let's go back because I was fascinated by that show, and I got sucked into a piece of property.
Oh,
you don't even want to know the half of it. You know, a lot of tens of thousands of dollars in the hole later, and the house was default. Oh, what a mess. With some friends of mine. First of all, you know that adage, never go into business with friends.
Right. And our family, same thing. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I want you to tell us where we are today, and because you are involved in real estate now in Phoenix and in California and Las Vegas. What's really happening? Give us a real flavor of what the real picture is today, please.
Sure. All real estate is local. Don't listen to the naysayers. This is a big country. We have 300 million folks. Naysayers, it sells. Crash and burn sells. There's markets up there that are actually appreciating. I know it's hard to believe those Cinderella stories, but there's a lot of down markets as well. And that's why a lot of smart folks, and I may or may not be amongst them, are fairly optimistic in terms of the direction of the market. A situation where you want to choose your fights carefully, you want to choose you want to choose your markets carefully. So there's a lot of indicators out there by smart folks that things are different and positive, but just depends where it's at, really.
Okay. So you were very cavalier. You were young, and did you have a lot of success? Or was it a mixed bag?
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. I was speaking to a broker friend of mine the other day, and we talked metaphorically, a lot of analogies. And of course, football is a game of inches. Real estate is almost a game of zeros, and the less zeros you have, the further you are from the goal line. And what I mean to say by that is that if you're well capitalized, you're going to be able to make it through these down markets. I was in a situation where I bought close to 50 homes, a little over 50 homes. 45 of them I made money on. It was unfortunately
it's a good percentage.
It actually, yeah, sure. If you're a betting odds maker, that's 80%.
I was going to say that's 85%.
There you go. $17 million. That's $17 million worth of product. $15 million of it was in the green, or rather in the black. Unfortunately, depending upon the type of mistakes and how catastrophic it is, and how well funded someone is, will make a difference whether or not you survive. So that's the upside of the story on my story. But a mistake is a mistake, and closeness only counts in horseshoes. So there it is.
So is flipping something that you still do today?
It is and it isn't. And just to let you know, I do it more.
I love those answers. Yeah.
I know. Don't you love ambiguity? It's beautiful. Yeah. I actually just made a cross country trek between Jacksonville, Florida, to Southern California. I live out here in Pasadena, and I stopped in some markets in Phoenix, also Houston, Texas, and Mississippi. Believe it or not, flipping is alive and well. I'm doing it more on a prospecting basis. You don't go in there cold turkey. You've got to keep in mind that after a $1 to $10 million bankruptcy, there wasn't a lot of banks that wanted to see my name at the dotted line.
Oh, right, of course.
So that was 2.5 years ago. So timing is everything, and it's about a two-year maturation process, and based upon underwriting guidelines, where you can really belly up to the bar and consider taking conventional financing out. So that's really where I'm at right now.
So your new book, tell us about this new book. You really talk honestly and openly, Sidney, about everything that you went through. What to do at closing, how to leverage, how to maximize your return, all of these things.
Right. Yeah. I hate to use that word cathartic, but it was. There's lots of reasons why I wrote it. I started in 2006, or actually 2005. Just really is going to be a how-to book. No thrills, no, straight chaser, just to the point. Then, of course, it got a little bit different. I picked it up in later because things were so busy, and unfortunately it ended a little bit different than what I had anticipated the last 3 or 4 chapters. So that's the reason why I wrote it, was to inform. And just to let you know, Frankie, there's not a lot of real estate books out there that are on new tract homes. A lot of it's just on REOs, and that's good and well if they're good books. So I saw a niche there, and I said, gee whiz, let me commoditize this, okay?
Sure. So I want to ask you, if you were to have your, and I'm putting you on the spot here, but I really want to know what you think is going to happen with real estate. I mean, I saw a piece last night. It was late. It was on, I forget, one of the shows. I don't know if it was a repeat, but it was very late. I woke up and I put it on, and it was about a $60 million piece of property in Florida. And it was 2 partners. And they were saying that this is the right home for the right person. It's going to take about $100,000 a month to sustain this incredible property. And they said, the interviewer said, so who would be the best person? They said, of course, a billionaire. Would have to be a billionaire. A millionaire wouldn't even work. And apparently Major A-Rod was looking at the property. Major wealthy people were looking at it, and it's still not affordable for them. So is there still, in your opinion, are there still going to be these high-end homes? Are we trying to get rid of the mansions and get back to reality here?
Yes and no, and I hate to give you another ambiguous question. I mean, keep in mind, that's such a stratospheric number, 60 million, and those are, in fact, loan financing doesn't really come into play. Those are almost at a major hotel level or a minor hotel level. Ironically, the
with
larger,
no money coming in, only money going out. It's like a boat. That's all it is.
Well, some of the larger homes were actually insulated from the hit only because the cash reserves. Talk about full circle. Rich folks are more well substantiated in terms of taking care of debt service when you're on a down market. So they actually weathered pretty well, although the prices eventually came down on the bigger homes. But in terms of those stratospheric markets, and that would be at an international level, when you're talking someone who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, it's almost apples and oranges. I don't think it has that much connection to probably about 99.9% of the market, but it's good fodder. We're always captivated by the homes of the rich and famous, for example.
Oh, sure, okay. Absolutely. Now, we know that divorce, I have a very good friend who has been trying to divorce her husband. It's for a couple of years now, and the home was once worth quite a bit of money in her neighborhood, and that neighborhood doesn't get the kind of numbers, although it's still worth a lot. It's not going to get the kind of numbers in the mortgage that's out on it, and the second mortgage because he lost his job, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. So people are having to go into 401ks. They're being penalized. They're having to sell homes at prices that are outrageous. So there are still deals to be made in this country.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's
probably, if you have cash reserve and you are in a position that you have that, this is probably, as Mike Summey would say, the weekend millionaire, this is like a perfect time to be buying.
It really is. And, as sick and as odd as it may sound, because we listen to our great-grandparents talk about the Depression, I feel privileged to live during this era, as odd as that may sound, this crash and burn, catastrophic, apocalyptic environment, because it's a great time to buy, even though we're in the ashes of ruin. And I know, it's incredible. It's
Sid, you've got to come back. What's the best website?
TheFlip.tv. TheFlip.tv.
Okay. This was really fun having you on.
You betcha.
All right. We'll talk soon. Take care. We'll be back in a moment. It's Frankie Boyer. Stay tuned.